All right, we're going to start. So first of all, again, a very warm welcome. My name is Jorij Abraham. I'm the managing director of the Global Anti-Scam Alliance. We're a non-profit organization, and we bring together governments, law enforcement, consumer protection organizations, banks, telecom operators, social media, to better protect consumers worldwide from online scams, and that's our mission. I have to apologize for my background. I'm at the United Nations today in Vienna. We're discussing a anti-fraud resolution, and there's no place where I could hide a little bit in silence. So I'm in an open location. So again, my apologies for the background. The good news is I'm not going to do the talking. That's going to be done today by Maria Anic. But before we start, for those who don't know us yet, the Global Anti-Scam Alliance is a network, and we really want to bring together all the stakeholders to better protect consumers from scams. And we do this by intelligence sharing. So what's happening in the scam industry? What are the new scams? What are best practices in scam fighting? We facilitate networking so that law enforcement, banks, telecom operators can find each other and work together. We do a lot of research. We publish about 30 reports annually about the state of scams in Germany, in the USA, in Brazil, in Australia, and of course our global state of scam report. And finally, we're currently working on a data exchange where we're allowing organizations to share scammy URLs, servers, and domains with each other in a safe way to better identify scam networks. So that's enough about the Global Anti-Scam Alliance. Before I give the floor to Maria Anic, I would like to make you aware that we are recording this session, and also that the Chatham House rules applies, meaning that you are free to use the material shared by Anna internally, but if you want to do it externally, please ask first permission to Anna if you can use any material for your externally. So again, we're recording. That means that if you ask a question in the chat, that might be visible in our recording as we post your question for Anna to answer. And then without further wasting time, I would like to introduce Maria Anic, Head of Fraud and Chargebacks at Moonpay. Anna, may I give you the floor?
Sure. Hi. Hi, everyone. Very nice to be part of this webinar today. I met Yuri a couple of 2 or 3 years ago, and I was very impressed with what GASA is doing. I really feel that there is a very big focus needed on scam prevention, and I'm extremely grateful that I can be a small part of it and contribute as much as I can. Thank you everyone for joining today. I know that Yori already posted a message there to introduce yourself using the chat. Feel free to do so because I don't want to be the only one speaking here. If you have any questions, let's engage, let's talk. As you just presented, Yori, it takes a network to actually make an impact. So yeah. I'm based in Croatia. You can find me on LinkedIn, reach out to me. Happy to help and engage on anything needed. I've been in crypto world since 2013, 14. So it's been some time now. And, unfortunately, blockchain technology has a lot of great impact and a lot of potentials, but it brings that awareness that we need to share around scams. And it's still not present as much as we would like to. So that's why I'm here today. All right. So today we're going to talk about a little bit how you can detect, how you can spot, how you can prevent scams, what is social engineering, what is friendly fraud, how can you implement certain things to try to combat it, because first-party fraud is, and everyone would agree with me, the hardest fraud to detect and prevent, because all of these customers, they look exactly the same, like legit customers, but they're unfortunately victims of a scam that they came across on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok these days. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking. Before we start, we have something for you because I don't talk often on these webinars with Moonpay. So if you scan this QR code today, we are actually going to send you immediately 100 Ethereums back to your address. You just need to make sure that you do it in next 5 minutes. If you don't, you're not going to get it. If you do it in 2 minutes, you're going to get double of the Ethereum that I mentioned. So yeah, feel free to do this. And of course, might not even be funny, right? But I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're not going to get any Ethereum. You're not going to get any crypto for free. Unfortunately, I would love that myself. Fun fact, I actually lost some of my keys I had in 2013. So kudos to me. So yeah, just kidding. Again, if anyone did this, try to educate a little bit more. Every day is a school day, but this is fun maybe now, right? But unfortunately, a lot of people fall for this. You can go to the next slide. If you don't trust me, maybe you're going to trust Lady Gaga, right? If Lady Gaga reaches out to you over Facebook and basically tells you to send her $145 to work on her new song, maybe you're a big fan of Lady Gaga, so you might do that. Or if you want to, or if you want to really help the Russia and the war, you can also send them crypto directly. Again, all of these are emotional, very very persistent scams where they basically reach out to you to create an emotional connection to you, so you feel sad, you want to help. If someone is having problems, I see someone is having problems with the stream, Sam is here to help. So please comment because it's important that you see the slides. You can go to the next one. All right, here is a small agenda. I kind of, covered this at the start, but basically we're going to talk about how you can understand the threat landscape. How do you actually detect that someone is trying to scam you? What are some strategies that you can use for prevention and protection in your companies, in your businesses? How do you build consumer trust as a key point in the education and basically prevention? We're going to work some case studies, and then basically at the end we're going to have a Q&A session where I would like to see you all very involved, and discuss any pain points that anyone is facing right now, because I think everyone is fighting scams very hard, and it can be very tiring. So yeah, next one. All right, so scams, right? We all know what are scams, and we know that basically are schemes to trick people into losing money or personal information. So scams does not necessarily need to be only in terms of financial loss. It can also be a scam for you to share your sensitive details like identity information, and then you end up identity theft a victim. But at the end of the day, it was again a scam. Social engineering, basically, pretty familiar to all of us, manipulating individuals into revealing sensitive data. So it can come from all the popular social media platforms that probably 99% of us here own. We have accounts there, but I think no one is really thinking about how bad of these platforms can actually be, and how they can be abused as everything else. And then friendly fraud, of course, there are customers that, I like to say they turn out chargeback abuse into their business model of earning money. So they, purchase crypto and then they decide to say that they didn't get it, or they just changed their mind, or the crypto went a little bit down and now they want to keep the crypto and get the money back as well. So there is a lot of these things, not only in a crypto and also in e-commerce. This is happening very, very often. And, I have plenty of friends working around different businesses, merchant businesses, where they see scams being number one thing to solve. Yep, you can go to the next one. So the online scammer is someone that I think we should start treating almost as our customer. So when I say that, right, we need to start understanding their behaviors. We need to start putting them into patterns. We need to start analyzing the scam victims in a way. Okay, if I have 5 customers today that I know that were fallen as a victim of a scam and reported fraud to me, what are the amounts of these transactions, right? Where are they coming from? What are the wallet addresses? Which crypto asset are they purchasing? So that's what I say when I mean unmasking the online scammer, right? The deceptive personas, they pretend to be someone else. Very often you will see, actually recently I had a case study where one elderly woman reached out to me and she was like, hey, I'm chatting to this doctor from Ukraine. I was like, okay, good for you. Yeah, but like he's asking me now to send him 15k euros because he needs to transfer some bags over to Croatia. And he does not have any money there because it's frozen on his account because of the war, blah blah blah, right? I was like, that does not makes any sense. Can you show me the communication? Can you show me his photo, right? Just from looking at his photo, I knew that this is downloaded from Google, and the Google Translate emails that he was sending her were, it was super clear that this is something fishy. And then when she started, when I told her to start asking about some sensitive information, he was very anonymous. He was hard to trace. He was hidden. He was very tight-lipped to share any information. Right, very like deep down in secrets, trying to change subject. Very flattery. Hey, I love you. Like using all these compliments to gain trust. Telling her all the stories, how life is going to be when he gets back. So all these points here that I actually, put down, scam prevention almost became like a psychological way to think, like psychological approach to how to prevent people putting yourself in like 60 age skin, putting yourself in 45 age skin, putting yourself, if I'm 60, right? If I'm trying to purchase something online, what would almost brought me a little bit of a fear so I can rethink my decision and ask for a second opinion, because people are so convinced when they're getting scammed that they're getting something that they promised to them on these social media platforms or whatever. There is, they're reaching out over the emails these days as well. So I had some customers where received the phone calls. So yeah, next slide. Yeah, so basically they approach you first. There was no single case scenario I heard that someone reached out to a scammer, right? In a way where they started chatting to someone, and I mean Tinder swindler, actually, it's kind of like a match on Tinder, right? But this guy had a purpose, he knew what he's doing. This poor woman just fell in love, and no one can really be blamed for falling in love. So that's where the education needs to come in place, to be a little bit aware of who are we talking to and sharing our information with. They're always looking for your cash or crypto, so they'll find all the ways, all the reasons for you to send you money. All their needs will suddenly become yours, and you will have to basically, with the emotional connection they create with you, or with investment opportunity like in crypto, they will start convincing you that this is the right thing for you. They will sound professional. They will share even like metrics and data with you, statistics. So be very, very careful of these crypto fake exchanges. That it's, there's plenty of them around. Anything that it's too good to be true, it's not. So always remember that. Anything that sounds too good, question it. Question it, even if you have evidence that this is right. Question it. Ask someone who's more professional there. Ask someone who maybe did the same, right, who invested in this exchange. Ensure that you basically educate before doing anything that can create financial loss to you, or even worse, like identity theft. And they always use technology to hide. These days, one of the reasons why it's so hard to detect and prevent scams in 2024 is that technology went super high, right? And they're well educated, they're like tech wizards. But technology is still lacking detecting them, right? Because they look exactly like us. They just have very negative thoughts, and they really have uh, um, they have a purpose of basically use and abuse you. So you can go to the next slide. Some of the common scams that are targeting merchants, right? And most of you are familiar with this, but I will cover it slightly. So how merchants are actually facing the issue. You know that Visa fraud monitoring programs, merchants monitoring programs for Mastercard, they basically calculate fraud reports. TC40s, they all go into your ratio. So if customer got scammed, they basically go to their bank, they file a chargeback, or they report fraud against the merchant that they used to whatever. And who is the liability? Well, a merchant, right? But if it's, is it the case that merchant is actually responsible for them being in the situation they are? Well, not really, right? There is that third party that guided them to do what they did. For example, in our case, what we see, they go on Facebook and they post a post saying, "Hey, if you purchase $100 crypto today, in 2 weeks you're gonna have $1,000." So you're thinking you're like 50 years old, plus a lady on Facebook, and you're like, this is actually good. I can, put $100 and maybe it's not even like a lot to lose in a way, right? That when the $1,000 sounds like a good idea, right? So what happens basically? They never get these $1,000, and they basically go to bank to get them, to get the chargeback, and to get a refund. Crypto, is irreversible, so there is no way to get a refund, which makes things harder. And then how many people after losing like so much money had really bad thoughts, like suicidal thoughts. When I've really experienced like some very very serious case scenarios where you only, when you hear those scenarios, you only get to the point where you start understanding how big impact is actually like Gaza making, how big impact any companies that are actually fighting scams making. When you see these people literally like suffering. This lady that I was dealing with a couple of years ago, she lost $65,000 in Croatia. That's a, like, 1 bedroom apartment, and that was all the money she had. So I had like 3 months psychological treatment with her, which is okay. I don't mind. I was happy to do that, but it's hard. It's hard even to listen for me that. So romance scams, I mentioned, phishing scams, all the links you receive and then you click around, right? Because you're wondering what it is. Don't. If you don't recognize, don't click. Like anything that you receive on your email, don't even open. Don't bother. Delete. All the promotions emails that you get from these shops or crypto exchanges, don't bother. If you're not using it and you don't understand what it is, either ask and check or don't open at all. Vendor impersonation. So there is a lot of impersonated websites that are fake, actually, and it's even hard to recognize. Recently, we had a very strict, I would say, very serious case scenario because it was a Croatian post office. And basically, they were sending SMS messages to people that they're about to receive a package, right? And they were just testing, because there was around Christmas a lot of people that was about to receive a package because they ordered something, right, online. And basically what happened, people were clicking on that link to enter their home address to get the package sent to them, but that was actually a phishing link. So they asked customers to again enter their card details. And of course, you guess how many customers did not know that that's not a post office, because the message and the template of the SMS that they received looked really legit, and I can tell you it looks really okay. So yeah, be careful. Try to rethink, because we tend to order a lot from Amazon, from eBay, Zalando, ASOS, clothes, whatever. Try to think, did I order something? And is it normal that someone is asking me to put my card details if I already paid? It's not, right? So, even if you're unsure, try to reach out directly to the merchant or the website where you order the product from. And that's not only related to, e-commerce, but also to crypto. And then basically our chargeback abuse is the one that I think crypto is really dealing with because of the policies in terms of, I mean, crypto is irreversible. So you send some, crypto on the blockchain, that's it. It's a great business model to earn money, which is not ideal thing to handle, but unfortunately, it's something that we need to keep fighting, and we'll get there. Giveaway scams in terms of giving away, whoever is giving away something, don't trust. Question: why would this person now give me this for free? Like, why would someone give away crypto? Like, even if you're not familiar with crypto technically, just think about like the actual action that person is trying to do. It's a giveaway, right? It would make sense if someone was giving away pens for a promotion of a company, right? For example, right? Or on a conference, you're walking around the conference, someone is giving you merch, so you wear around and you promote the company. But why would someone give you away money, right? When you see Elon Musk posting a Twitter post that he's giving away, know that his account is hacked. He's not giving away his money. I know he, has a lot of money, but he's not giving it away. He has businesses to invest. So that's something to really keep in mind. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, this is actually from Lisbon, from FTC consumer data, but you can just see that investment related fraud is still on top. If I put down the 23, 24, it's the same thing. Investment related fraud is, I think it's gonna just stick on top. Why? Because we're people, we are human beings. We have that thing in us where we always want more, right? It's in human nature that we always want more, and not more, just more of money, more of everything. When we make a success, we're always already looking for another success. When we buy a house, now we want to adjust that house. When we buy a new kitchen, now we need a new TV because it doesn't look well with the, like, all these things are really in our human nature. And that's why crypto investments are very attractive to consumers, because they're bringing the opportunity to get more, to earn more, and really, really be really careful about where you invest. Go to legit licensed regulated crypto exchanges where you know that you're not going to suffer financial loss. And if you ever come across someone reaching out to you and asking you to invest and presenting you that he's going to be your personal advisor and he's going to keep your crypto and send you trading returns, no, question that. um, Rather spend some time on educating yourself how to set up the wallet, how to store your private keys, and feel free to again reach out to me on anything really related to that. You can go to next one. Some strategies for prevention and protection in-house of the businesses, right? So now we're talking about what your company and yourself can do. Maybe on this call there are some head of frauds or head of chargebacks or directors of fraud or fraud analysts or customers, anyone really who has any touch with operations or payments or just general wanting to learn. This is something that if you don't have today, you should jump from this call and start working on this. Really, that's what you should be doing after the call, nothing else. So employee training, right? Regular training sessions, security awareness. If you don't have your security trainings done on yearly basis, getting your employees to accepting the policies, ensuring that your equipment is safe, ensuring that people understand the risks that the company can face, you're failing already. Multi-factor authentication, you need to get customers to do that, basically to provide multiple forms of verification, such as password, one-time codes. That increases security. So I know that in these days with businesses going up and down and trying to generate revenue, we all focus on conversion rates, which is understandable. There is always, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're running business, you're running it to make impact, earn money and to be profitable at the end of the day, right? But make sure that wishful thinking to drive the conversion rates don't cost you later of issues that you can face on the visa side, issues you can face on security and on your customer trust and safety, because we'll talk about it later, but that really costs reputational if you fail there. Friendly fraud mitigation, strong security measures and evidence. When I say this, you need to ensure that if you get a chargeback, right, there can be a customer that created 10 transactions with you today, and altogether that's 30K of volume. And if this customer is trying to convince, circumvent the system, and they go to a bank and they file a chargeback, you need to be ready. So when I say you need to be ready, you need to be ready that you are able to showcase that this is the customer, this is the card owner, that you verified him, that he accepted the terms, that you got him to pass all of your security measures, and now he's telling it's not him. You need to be ready to showcase that you basically ensure that the card owner is basically making the transaction and not someone on his behalf. So that's very strong thing to remember, because that can create a very high financial loss if you don't have all these measures in place. And now we're getting to the chargeback prevention, which is basically very related to what I just mentioned. Customer communication is something that you should always keep and store, right? So a lot of us are using Zendesk or any other instant messaging platforms or ticketing. Ensure that always you store on each account where customer reaches out, that you know that this customer reached out for X reason. So if tomorrow he files a chargeback and he reached out to you a week ago telling you, oh, can you speed up with this processing of crypto? It takes ages. And then he comes back and he says, oh, it wasn't me. Because he's now trying to get your money back. And you have some evidence there saying, this guy actually reached out to us to try to push us to speed up the crypto delivery. Or if he basically tells you in these communications that he made a mistake and he basically sent crypto to the third party, but he signed the terms and conditions twice, and you warned him. We have warning basically for customers and to prevent elder abuse. You warned him that he might be scammed, that he needs to really think and reach out to us. Unfortunately, you need to prevent the cost of business. There is a balance that needs to be found between scam prevention and running a business. You need to work on education, but you also need to make sure that that your business is not abused by third parties that are, basically creating these customers to become a scam victims. And then dispute resolution, collaborate with payment processor, establish dispute resolution mechanisms. Some companies are using third-party vendors. I'll mention some completely transparently. Chargeback 911, Chargeback Gurus. We are not using third-party, and we made a decision to keep everything internally because it makes sense for us. And I can probably say that team is doing a great job there. And third party is not needed, but you need to make sure that you have clear processes, procedures, that you have really a way to process if tomorrow you wake up and there is thousands of chargebacks, that you're ready for it. Otherwise it will cost you a lot. You can go to the next slide, Sam. Some proactive measures basically that I would like to encourage everyone to do is, in terms of scam prevention in-house, implement trusted and secure payment processing solutions. When I say trusted and secure payment processing solutions, these days there's plenty of these where they're trying to lower the fees of processing. They're promising you a lot, but does it work? Do they have PCI DSS? How do they process? Where do they store data? Blah, blah, right? All of that needs to be checked because when you basically integrate a payment processor and you start engaging, that's only a kickoff point. The real work starts when you start processing and when you start getting chargebacks and when you start facing issues. Then you see how collaborative approach is actually present there. So always ensure that you test the transparency, test the team, test the knowledge before doing the integration. This is just like a out of the scam prevention story, a tip that I would share. Transaction monitoring, always ensure that monitoring tools to detect suspicious activity are there. So on the fiat end, because this is a crypto presentation, so you need to have both. You need to have a fiat and crypto covered. And I will basically explain. So on a fiat end, you're screening the actual cards, the actual payment methods, bank transfers, whatever you accept. And on crypto end, you're screening wallet address. There are third-party vendors that can basically help you to detect if a wallet is a scam in certain case scenario. Unfortunately, some case scenario is still not possible. Why? Because there's often websites and fake exchanges that like to generate new wallet address at every single purchase, and these ones are hard to catch. These are almost impossible to catch, and let me kind of explain why. When you open up a wallet address, the wallet address is super clear, right? There's nothing in there. There's no signals that you can detect that might be fraudulent or a scam. And that wallet address is only for that customer slash scam victim. Another one is getting another wallet address, and he's just picking up the money. And there's no connections. So that's why it's hard. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like a cat and mouse game where each of these wallets then, when they report chargeback or fraud, get flagged, and then you enter that into network and you start basically making a proactive approach that if any scam or fraud labeled wallets would be entered, in our case on our widget, we would detect that immediately, and that transaction would not go through. Customer would be prevented, and we would also block that wallet for any future transactions from any customers in general. So that's ensuring proactive approach. Customer verification. I know that often companies, think about KYC, know your customer, due diligence, enhanced due diligence, all of these things as a lot of things to ask from the customer. But actually, when you present it to a customer in a way that this is protecting you, this is for your own safety, this is not to bother you with plenty of identity documents, liveness checks, or whatever. This is for you to ensure that we know no one is taking our financials. It's you that want to purchase, and it's actually you that is verifying your account. So we have that data, and if you can explain to your customers to do that, they will most likely do it and understand that KYC, in my opinion, should be the crucial part of any customer journey. Fraud screening. Make sure that there is no transactions that are going through that are not going through fraud screening. Fraud screening can tell you a lot. When I say fraud screening, it's risk models that you actually integrate in your system. So, if, for example, there is an 80-year-old person logging it at 2 o'clock a.m. their end, right? And being super active on crypto and basically logging in, logging out, logging in, logging out for 10 times in like 5 minutes and purchasing 15K in 2 a.m. in less than a minute. I cannot even be that fast, right? Making 10 transactions in 5 minutes, meaning literally going through the entire flow again. Think about it. Does it make sense? If you're not sure, does it make sense? Backtest. Be data driven. Check the data, store the data, understand the customer activity. It's the key. Basically, it's the key. Biometrics. How fast are you moving? I don't like to speak about age and who's fast or not, but let's try to be data driven, right? If you see someone using copy paste and being 75, 80, you know, try to get the data. How many customers is that fast? If they're all fast and they're not reporting fraud, cool. You have some great technically educated customers in the elderly stage that are, I don't know, actually just investing in crypto, or maybe they're engaging with their some of the family members that they taught them or whatever, right? But try to find the reasons to make sure that everything makes sense. If something doesn't make sense, find a reason for it. If it makes sense, great, right? But make sure that you have data driven approach. Target specific cohorts. So that every time when you're running analysis on the fraud end, you're going to find different age groups may be doing different things, right? You're going to see that maybe 60 plus is the group that falls as a victim more than, I don't know, 30, right? But then you might see that 20 to 24 also fall as a victim, but maybe not the source is not the same. So if you have two groups that are increasing your ratio, right, and you know that these guys are scam victims because top contributors of your fraud ratio are customers that actually told you that are getting scammed, then think, is it the smartest way to actually go and um, make additional rule set to stop good traffic that is not focusing on first party fraud? Maybe you should introduce more warnings to these groups. Maybe you should run manual reviews. Maybe you should do a proactive reach out to these customers and ask them, hey, what is the reason for your purchase? And if they tell you, I'm trying to run this investment on this website, they're tipping off themselves. So you almost make customer to tell you something that maybe they wouldn't tell you because they think is the right thing to do, to actually help them understand that this is not the right thing to do. That's where I like to repeat it. It's almost becoming like a psychological approach to business in terms of the scam prevention. Understanding the behavior, understanding the customer, understanding the age groups, understanding the activities that it kind of, it goes together with the age groups, and different regions, markets, businesses, industries, really needs to be like granular as possible. And that's really kind of it. You can go to the next slide. Also, ensure that education is always present for your customers. If you're running a business today and you don't have an articles or a knowledge base, or how to spot and avoid crypto scams, as I'm showing here today, regardless of this being crypto or a e-commerce business that you're working for or owning, after this calls, this is a second action item for you. Go and work with your content teams and with your fraud teams to get something like this, and put it on your website. Get your team to be reachable and approachable on this, because insights is valuable. The insight you get from customers is basically what you use to prevent the second one. So that's why I like to say, if I post and you can see on my LinkedIn, I'm very active on like posting these how to detect, and making like a little bit fun, interactive. And if I have one person that reaches out to me and tells me, oh, I actually got scammed, can you check this? Or this is how I got scammed, this is the website, I already did some impact, right? Maybe I've only saved this one customer, but if this customer didn't give me this impact, how many other customers were actually falling for the same thing? Because this one, right? I always like to say the best marketing is mouth to mouth still, because people like to talk, right? So like if this person went and sat on a coffee with their friends and said, oh my God, I invested $100 in this guy, like this is great, he's going to give me like, $5,000 in like a month, you should do the same. Like, they're all going to be, it's like a spreading a virus, right? And then it's super hard to stop it. And unfortunately, we faced COVID as well. You know how long it kind of was around, and it was super scary first. Then suddenly we all need to get vaccinated, and then suddenly it's nothing, right? So it's kind of like, before you start stopping it, it will have a better and higher impact. So please ensure that you're running customer education, because we want to bring trust back to crypto, and the only way to do so is to run education. Anything that more, that you study more, that you investigate, you're getting and becoming more confident, and that's what's bringing trust back. These days, unfortunately, when I talk to people who are maybe not that familiar and educated and technically educated in crypto, when I tell them crypto, they don't hear blockchain technology, Ethereum, protocols. They hear scams, and they hear investments, because crypto is very connected to investments, which is okay, but we need to make sure that this is done right, securely, safe, and that should really be our shared goal. You can go to the next slide. So I kind of mentioned some of this, so I'm just going to be very, very, very quick here. Building user trust, I already mentioned. So you need to ensure that you're running a customer protection, that your customer, if they reach out to you, even if it's crypto irreversible, don't just be like, sorry, can't help you. try to understand that there is a person behind this actually being someone facing a loss. You don't know if this $100 for someone were like last $100, right? Try to be like direct this customer what else they can do. Ask them for the insight, and tell them that, look, unfortunately, maybe I cannot help you today, but give me this insight so I can, you and me, actually help someone else. You already make them feel better. Like I know myself, is make someone happy, and if I can help someone, I feel better, right? And it's also in human kind of like a blood that when we feel useful, we feel good. So that's also something to keep in mind. Then, making sure basically that you integrate scam warnings in your customer journey. So again, it comes with the conversion rates discussion. I love to mention that because a lot of product guys will probably say like, oh, it kills the conversion. Target specific cohorts does not mean that you need to apply to 100% of people, but always tweak it in somewhere, and maybe for specific targeted groups, make sure is super clear, super robust, right? Ask them to confirm and read stuff, right? Get the tick box, give them examples, ask them if their wallet address is actually created by them or by someone else, because usually it's by someone else on the crypto scams. Usually these elderly people don't really even know that they have wallet address. They believe it's something else, right? But they gave all the information. Screen sharing is very important one that you can, with technology today, detect and implement. And constantly basically improve your fraud screening. So make sure that you're running rule audits, that you're back testing, that you're looking at your analysis, that you're manually analyzing anomaly alerts. When I say anomaly alerts, is basically if you see a spike on a certain country with certain crypto asset, get that to be alerted to your fraud ops team, right? And then get the team to jump on it and see if there is any patterns there, right? Might be scam related, might be true fraud. If it's a scam, if these all customers look verified, all good, email them. Email the entire group, right? Be proactive. Email them without questioning, is it them behind the email? Try. You don't know, right? Try. We even experiment with calling customers. We had some customers where they would be like, no, don't worry. I know this guy. I met him on Facebook. I trust him. It's all good. Just complete my transaction. And I would be like, okay, so what do I do now? Right? I'm pushing away a business. I'm telling someone, hey, but are you sure? Please tell me you're not, because I don't want to process your transaction. But if someone is so convinced, you need to find a way to get to them. It's like when you're having a conversation with your friend about something that it's not right? And it's not about the opinions, right? Opinions are individuals, need to be respected. But when you have an evidence on something is not right? And you see it's not working, it's hard to convince someone when someone is so down for it. But also have patience. Have patience for these customers. It takes time for them to get to maybe, where we are in crypto business in terms of like technology and stuff. And then, basically try to run some case studies. Try to run articles, case studies where you discover the scam. Try to engage with marketing. We are currently running some initiatives on customer education campaigns around seasonal campaigns, like Christmas, Easter is now coming. There is a lot of scams around holidays because of course, right? People are buying, spending money, and there is always someone who's going to use the opportunity. So, try to be interactive, proactive, reach out. Valentine's Day, use Valentine's Day for romance scams, target romance scams. Try to make the main point is that you make these warnings and these campaigns readable and simple, not too long, not too complicated, too technically packed. You need to speak the same language as your victim, because it's not gonna be passed to them. So you can go to the next slide. And basically, I kind of mentioned this already, but failing to prevent scams brings plenty of potential issues. So from bad company reputation that there is no business wants to face, when you go to Trustpilots or you put company name reviews, which we all do for some things, right? You don't want to be reading that your company is, bad, you got scammed or whatever, um, having all these bad customer reviews. You don't want to enter Visa fraud monitoring programs or chargeback monitoring programs. You don't want to be paying for your chargebacks because of this. That's all coming from lack of education, and basically people getting scammed on a crypto end. Legal issues as well. For example, in UK, FCA is now bringing a lot of related stuff to scam prevention. I can see some of these things being regulated probably in some point, not only in UK. I remember in Croatia, couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago, we had a similar thing with investment funds. And what Croatian actually regulator decided to do is to put a questionnaires for these people that you need to implement with the regulatory requirements for a qualified investor. So meaning basically there was no person that could have invested in a fund or anticipate a fund if they didn't qualify for it. There was like strict qualification for this. So that kind of runs the business, yes, but does it prevent the scam and potential financial loss? It does. So that's something that I think will happen. And then of course loss of customer trust. When you lose customer trust once, and if you don't work on getting it back, it's hard to kind of reverse and gain it back. Trust is something that I think is crucial for have returning customers. Next slide. So yeah,
Anna,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt. We have 10 more minutes. I also want to leave a
yeah.
little bit for questions.
Yeah. I was just gonna say you can skip this slide because if someone, this is gonna be recorded anyway, so you can take screenshot but this is kind of summarized, so you can proceed. Here I will just mention that it's super important to have your terms and conditions displayed on your widget on your checkout. I would recommend it to do it twice, once at the sign up and once at the actual transaction purchase, because on crypto it's super important that they understand there is no cancellation. So you really want to scream that point, no cancellation. And also there is some visa requirements as well that require you to present that. You can skip that one now. And now, yes, that's it really. Open discussion and questions. We have 10 minutes, so yeah, if we don't make time for all the questions, I will always take something on LinkedIn.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anna. Very interesting presentation. A lot of information. If you have a question, please feel free to use the chat, so I can post the question to you. I have a few of myself. First, I was shocked when you showed the Elon Musk screenshot, because I thought, I mean, it's at Elon Musk, it's verified.
Yes.
I wasn't aware that his account was hacked a while back. That was the case, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, depends, right? That was just an example. I don't recall now if that screenshot was from the hacked or not. But it happened, yeah. But on that screenshot, basically, it was just the purpose to show actually it's a giveaway, right? Which dilutes the crypto markets as well. When he posts like, "Hey, this is gonna go up tomorrow," and everyone buys, but not really. It can also be treated as a scam as well.
Yeah, let's stick to that. Mr. Musk is also an interesting person. Um, I also you made a division between scams, social engineering, and friendly fraud. Can you share a little bit at Moonpay? What is the relationship between the three different kinds of losing money? Is it
Yeah.
one third, one third, one third, or how is the balance?
Okay, I will tell you that first party fraud, I would dare to say it's around 70% fraud at Moonpay, which is a very high number.
Seventy
Uh,
percent is friendly fraud.
first party fraud. So yeah, I mean, some call friendly fraud, scams. All of this basically sits in Moonpay on the first party because a customer actually
Okay.
reports a scam. So that's that's also kind of combining the social engineering, and that's also combining scams. True fraud, it's, I would say, the least apart, in a way, like true confirmed fraud, account takeovers, hacked accounts, and all these things. But the main focus is first party fraud, because you wouldn't believe like how many customers are actually like scammed in terms of crypto. A lot of them are not even aware that this is a crypto related when they're being victims of a scam. Some of them, they think they're buying plenty of different things that they've been told. For example, Microsoft licenses, Amazon products, job posts, job scams, romance scams, investments are top one. I would definitely say investments are top one. When you see that market is going up now, you can expect that it's going to be more scams, because people are more attracted to purchasing because they expect a return. So it's something to be very aware of and to work on. Collaboration, information sharing were pointed out as a key.
Yeah, we
Okay.
we have a first question. You were already reading. Um, what kind of challenges do you face in sharing data? Are you using tools to see which other exchanges are seeing bad crypto? Could you share a little bit more?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. Could you discuss any challenge Moonpay itself faces in this collaborative? Okay, so here is the thing, right? Sharing sensitive information while ensuring data protection and privacy. Um, we have PCI DSS, so all of our customers basically, all of their data is secured. We are not sharing the sensitive customer data, which is, I mean, completely. I can promise you that. The in terms of kind of like collaboration and information. Um, I think we should all think about how we start sharing the information that is useful to us, because not necessarily sensitive information is useful to us. I think to us is more useful actually to know, okay, X customer shared this website that is actually confirmed to be a scam, okay, because he got scammed on this website. So X customer is completely irrelevant to us at this point. To us is only relevant this website, that again there's no sensitive information, it's a public website that can be basically visited right now from anyone. So we work around creating a network about all these insights, including websites, including wallet addresses that are not sensitive, and we create a network that basically fights and takes down these websites and informs other customers to not proceed with these. So I wouldn't really say there are challenges in terms of like scam prevention, unless maybe I misunderstood the question. But in terms of scam prevention, I really think we should focus on sharing insights that is completely irrelevant to sensitive. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have another question from Marco. Marco says, "Can you share your insights about fraud happening in the NFT art world? And is it possible through blockchain to actually track transactions and see where they end?"
Yeah. So, okay, NFT, it's something that is becoming more and more now popular, active in terms of scams. I think there was more scams when it actually went fully live and started with all these apes and little monkeys you've seen around, which was fun. Luckily, the big marketplaces like OpenSea, right? They have their due diligence and enhanced due diligence, where when they onboard a client, a merchant, an artist who has the NFT collection, they need to go through all of the security measures, documentation, and onboarding procedure to fulfill, for example, OpenSea needs, NFT marketplace needs, to ensure that whatever it's listed, right, it's secure and safe, and basically that customers don't get scammed. And then they monitor transactions, and I see that there's a actually track transactions. And yeah, transactions are basically screened the same way as on a crypto end. What is important to mention is that on an NFT end, there is a lot of Telegram, Signal, TikTok scams that I've seen recently that should be aware of. Pump and dump would be familiar to some of the maybe crypto folks on the call, and I know you're to you as well. There's plenty of those. Why? Because market is going up and they're preparing. So I would recommend to be very cautious about this. Um, and yeah, if there's any like specific maybe NFT collections anyone is seeing or whatever, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I can cross check myself as well. I've purchased some NFTs for fun as well. They were pretty cheap back then. They're still same price. Is it a scam or not? I don't know. We'll see. It's really NFTs depend on a project. It's on the story behind the actual project and the idea. And that's why the ape that Justin Bieber is owning is never going to cost the same the one that I'm owning, unless I become more popular than Justin Bieber. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, well, I mean, we're trying, Anna. We are trying to make you more popular with this meetup, and
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
that the prices for your NFTs is already increasing. Last question in the last minute. You also shared that you are helping scam victims, which is fantastic. But where does it stop? I mean, sometimes it is impossible to convince a victim that it's really a scam. Do
Hmm.
you then say, okay, we tried everything, we will let the transaction go, we will do the transaction, or do you say no, we're so sure it stops, we're not supporting it? Where do you stop?
Yeah. So basically, we block some transactions based on what customer tells us. We do have these questionnaires that we send, and if customer basically tells you they pick the option from, we have a questionnaire, I think I got scammed, and then when you click that, there is a plenty of reasons, and then if you see and you say no, 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 actually I think I'm not scammed because none of these reasons are relevant to me, that's where we would proceed the transaction, right? Where does it end, right? It never really ends in terms of prevention. As we speak, team is working on initiatives, Yori. um, the question is more, how do we get people to stop being scammed? That's more of a question, because if someone is so convinced, right? um, who am I really, right, to refuse? Because legally it's them, right? And I would even tell them, that lady that I gave as an example, I was like, go to police, right? Just go there and see what they tell you, right? Unfortunately, I had a call with um local police, and their technology is not even on the, I mean, transparently, the technology is not on the level that can actually do anything more than I can do more probably than them. So the question, where does it end, is more on a worldwide worldwide level. Small merchants, when I say small, right, Moonpay is not small, but merchants like us cannot fully stop it. We all together, from bank issuers, from card brands, from regulatory, from FBI units, from GASA, from everyone else, right, all around. Uh, we should work together to say where it stops, because there is no other answer really to that.
That's a perfect ending. Anna, thank you very much for taking the time to share everything you learned. I'm sure you will get more questions via LinkedIn. I really appreciate that you are supporting the Global Anti-Scam Alliance as a member, but also with all the knowledge you're sharing. Thank you, and I wish you a very, very pleasant evening, and I look forward to seeing you at our next summit.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yuri, for having me today. And I will see you soon. And thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn and reach out with any additional questions.
Thank you very much, Anna. Have a good day.
See you. Bye.
Bye bye, everybody, and see you at the next meetup.